Hello, hello. Happy Friday. I am, of course, again, waiting for Pamela to come on, which usually takes at least a minute or two. Sometimes it's a little crazy, but hopefully that will not be the case for today. But we're happy to be back. It was a long stretch, it felt like, having last week off for the 4th of July. And, and then the week before that, I was solo. Oh, Pamela, I see you're watching, which is great. That's one step closer to being on with me. I cannot add you yet. Let me see if you can request to join. Yeah, so the week before that, I was on solo, and, that's fine. But I just think that it's all the more fun when Pamela and I can be on together and have that dynamic. So, yeah, just waiting for that request to come through. And while I'm waiting for that, I was just going to say that, today's topic is exciting and it's cool, and it's a way for us to start to bolster, our practices, or to think about where else we can take this work, who else to study with, what other books to read. But I also feel like we're just going to be scratching the surface, and even the resources that Pamela and I have, they're going to be a great starting point. But I think that the resources that you might also have to contribute will really help us all bring a lot of these things together, because there might be things that Pamela and I aren't even aware of. So I think it would be really great to have this discussion, and so we can even think about, compiling a resource that will be accessible to all of us. Pamela wants to join the video. Yes. Okay, it's asking me to send you a request back. It says, ask Pamela to join you on video. Let's see what that is about. It says, unable to add guests. They can't join your broadcast at this time. We don't really believe them, though, because they do that sometimes. Okay, hang on. Now it's saying that I can add you on this end. Can I? Let me know if you can. Pamela. Oh, it says it's adding. That's what we're learning every week. It's just keep
Hello.
keep pressing the buttons until it behaves. Hi.
Okay, I think I figured out that I really can only join you from my phone.
Yes. Were you doing it on your computer
I was
before?
trying to be on my iPad, but it didn't really want to do that.
Oh, I see.
Just today. But then I realized, oh no, it needs to be from my phone, and I was able to send a request. Here I am. Anyway, hello.
Yeah, we're not too bad. This, I think, is the fastest that it has worked. So
Yeah.
and I don't feel as much anxiety of like, is it going to work? It's sort of just like, just keep pressing buttons and
Just like
eventually
when it works. Yeah.
when it
Mhm.
works. Yes,
Right.
exactly. How
Yeah.
are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy I'm at the end of a Friday because it's been a lot, but
Because
um
you pretty much went from teaching 5 days in a row
yeah.
into, I'm guessing, just a regular work week,
Well,
or
it was the week of 4th of July, so I took those next few days off. So I did have a long weekend. Thank,
yeah.
thank goodness. Yeah. But this week has been really busy. So I had I saw five today.
Yeah.
And so I'm done. I'm looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, I bet you were. And it seemed like such a beautiful class. It was great
Yeah.
to see the photo that you shared in the group, and so
Yeah.
many of those students. I just was processing their, requests to join the
Great.
collective. So
But
that's great. I'm excited to sort of get to know them virtually, and
yeah, what a great
yeah,
group. Hmm.
yeah. it seemed like it.
Yeah.
That's great, and they had a lot of, um, you know, positive feedback in there, and even in just that little short, blip about, what's your background coming into the
Oh,
group, that
good. Yeah.
like that vetting question that we have, and
Hmm.
yeah, so
Nice. Great. Well, I'm looking forward to looking. I haven't looked through those yet, but I will do that. So, yes. How are you?
I'm
You look
well.
good.
Yeah, I'm also, I taught a small group, 32-hour local class,
Saw
over
that.
2 months. Yeah, it was so fun. It was so great to, be able to work so intimately with some
Yeah.
therapists, and yeah, just great group. I feel so good about them going out into the world and doing this
Mhm.
work. So really fun, but it's also, it's always a lot. It's always a lot. And then we just had other stuff going on with Sparrow's Nest, where it was like a bunch of meetings and a bunch of people were due for like performance reviews all at the same time. And I'm kind of like, whoa, that's a lot all
Yeah.
at once. But it was good.
Hmm.
It's all good things.
Good. Well, and also you and I together collectively had a nice conversation with our mentor, with the rest of our teaching team, just
Yeah.
recently. And, coming away from that and then us having our own little classes is like, it just feels really good to carry on that legacy of Carole. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we could probably even maybe post little snippets of that in the group for people to get a feel of her, because she's not going to be as accessible, moving forward as she, moves farther into her retirement, and, now has how many grandkids? Just 7 grandkids, is that right? To fully, I feel like that was really what did it to pull her away from the work.
Yeah. I don't know that it's 7. I was thinking 3 or 4, but yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
Well, Elizabeth has two. Oh yeah, maybe I'm inflating it. Elizabeth has two, and then yeah, I thought her son has maybe just two also. Maybe I
I
don't know
think
where
so.
I got
Yeah.
the
I don't
other
know, but
bit there.
she's got her hands full, right? She's got
She does have her hands full.
her babies to take care of. So sorry, I'm just letting my
No,
ponytail
please.
has been squishing my brain for the day
Yeah.
out. So
Yeah, but it was so great to speak to her too, and I think one thing that might be fascinating for people to hear is just about how, in the massage world, right? Like touch during pregnancy has been around for
yeah,
forever, but just when Carole was actually pregnant and coming up, that it wasn't even available. It was like a complete contraindication to
right.
touch.
And when I was
So
in massage, yeah, so there was, yeah, it wasn't available to get massaged while you're pregnant. And then I don't know how it was for you, but that was the message I got in massage school as well, that it was contraindicated.
I'm trying to remember. I definitely didn't have any kind of acknowledgement of pregnancy specific things in my curriculum. I was in a program at the Hartwood Institute called Asian Healing Arts and Whole Foods Nutrition. So it was very
Oh,
Eastern based. Like we did a lot of shiatsu. We did a lot of like even tongue diagnosis and hara diagnosis, pulse diagnosis, which was cool. But I don't
love
remember there being much of anything specific to pregnancy. And
it.
that's why I sought it out after massage school, because I'm like, I felt drawn to it, but I'm like, I have no real
Yeah.
basis. I have a good sense of touch and anatomy and physiology and stuff like that, but I don't know how it applies to pregnancy. And that's when I
Mm,
sought out Carole's class originally.
yeah. Cool. Yes. So we will share more of that conversation we had with her. Little,
Yeah. Yeah. How was it for you when you went through massage school? Did they at least touch on it?
no, not at all. And it
Yeah.
was the furthest thing from my mind. I was 19. I was living in Fort Lauderdale. I was not thinking about pregnancy at all. But the message I got was that it was contraindicated. That was good enough for me at the time.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
didn't have any other reason to pursue it. It wasn't until I had been working several years and was living in a very bohemian house with some therapists, and one of my roommates was going to school to be a midwife. Her father owned the midwifery school. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
he owned an acupuncture school. They had just started a midwifery program in the acupuncture school, and yeah, and then I was like, oh, what's all this? And then I had a massage client who got pregnant and invited me to her birth. So
Yeah. And
it was like,
imagine, I'm just thinking, like, imagine how sad that would have been to, have this relationship with a client and then have to, what, turn them away? Is that what the practice was at the time? So,
well, I guess so. But the thing is, I still get women that show up that tell me they have a massage therapist, but their massage therapist isn't going to see them while they're pregnant. So they found someone specifically to do prenatal. So
well,
there are
that's true.
therapists,
I do too. Yeah.
right, that don't want to do the prenatal work. But I'm
Yeah.
so grateful that I was able to just make that continuity of care for them. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, because you already have a relationship and trust, and you have a sense of their structure and where they tend to carry things and
Yeah.
places you can track and how to
Hmm.
be more emotionally attuned. So,
Absolutely. And we've talked about it a little bit in previous conversations, but what a beautiful opportunity as a therapist to take someone from their pregnancy through their labor and birth and treat them postpartum and do infant massage with them. And like, you get to do all the things. I just
it's
had
so
someone come back with her, it was her second, but sometimes that lack of time in between, like I didn't, like I saw her on the books and didn't realize it had been 2 years since I had seen her. I was thinking, oh, yeah, just she's still pregnant.
yeah.
So you just get to carry on you know, carry on that relationship is nice.
Agreed. It's so special to be a part of this season of, yeah, our clients' lives.
Mhm.
And I was sort of starting to say that, today's topic about just talking about resources, I kind of feel like we're just barely going to scratch the surface of this, and this might need to be an ongoing sort of conversation.
Yeah.
Just because there's so much, so many places that we could take this conversation. Um, but
Mhm.
we can, maybe this can be like a living document or something that we just kind of keep adding to. And I'm sure that I was saying at the beginning, there might be things that even you and I are not aware of that are also wonderful resources out there that other therapists in the group know
Um,
about. So,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure because it seems almost overwhelming how much there is, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I have not done much planning for this, so I'm gonna let you start off and let's see where I can jump in because
Sure.
I'm
Yeah. I mean,
so
to be
busy.
honest, like I don't have a ton, but I feel like I have enough to kind of go off of. And I guess we can take this in a couple of directions. There's the resources that will enhance your learning as a therapist, and then there are resources that we can give to our clients. So
Mhm.
I'm sort of going to
Yeah.
touch on both. Um, but in terms of let's just start with books. Let's say, like, maybe we can talk a little bit about books for enhancing your learning as a therapist, and then
Mhm.
books that could be both, that could enhance your learning as a therapist, or things that you might, wholeheartedly recommend to any of your clients.
Yeah.
That could be, again, like that could fill up all the time there, but I'm
I
just
mean,
going to
really,
touch
yeah,
on it.
the books could be a topic by itself.
I
Absolutely.
know it really could. I was going to just talk about like the things that I recommend, that I find myself recommending the most
Hmm.
often and the most wholeheartedly.
Hmm.
In terms of, learning prenatal massage, we had that beautiful post from David about,
Yeah.
this book or any version of it. This is the most recent edition. So
Mhm.
this is Carole's Pre and Perinatal Massage Therapy with Michelle and David as co-authors on this third edition, and I mean, it's a wonderful resource. There's so much that uh, can learn from this book, and you know,
The illustrations are gorgeous. The
yeah,
overlays.
where your
uh,
hands are, yeah, where the overlays are, why you would
yeah.
be doing what and when, and it's a bunch of black and white rules about pregnancy, but there's a lot of, well, let's think this through, right?
Hmm.
Where is this
I,
person in her pregnancy? Is it low
yeah.
risk or high risk? And so it really helps you start to be able to tailor your care, right, in a way that
Mhm.
is more congruent to, um, yeah, breaking away from myths, breaking away from black and white thinking,
Mhm.
um, and look at a case by case scenario based knowledge and have confidence in it. So And then of course we're doing all those things in our classes together when we're doing, we're doing all the techniques that are in this book, plus a bunch more of supplemental techniques that couldn't fit in this book, and some of the techniques that, if not done correctly, could pose a safety hazard. Those are also the ones that we're only teaching in person. But in addition, I also love this book, The Deep Tissue
Oh,
Sculpting.
that's a beautiful book. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you pulled that out. Well, that's Carol's the major background, right? Was the deep tissue sculpting that lays the foundation for the other techniques. And
Yeah,
when you get the premise and like the concept of the deep tissue sculpting, that's what changed my work forever, right?
yeah.
It's like it slows everything down. It makes everything so much more intentional. You know exactly where you are in the body, and have this, we have this really kind of magical relationship with the tissue, but it becomes something so much more, because you're listening so much more. I don't know. I don't even have words for it.
Well, because you're
Yeah.
staying long enough to have a full-on conversation with the tissue, right? So,
Yeah.
so for those of you who don't know, like the premise of deep tissue sculpting is that you're staying at 30 to 60 seconds and waiting for
Mhm.
tissue yield. And
Yeah.
there's so much that can happen in that time. And that to me is really what changes the landscape of the
Mhm.
tissue, so that someone who walks in with a certain kind of holding pattern might walk out without that holding pattern. And it
Mhm.
also is the thing that helped me mentally break away from, I need to touch everything on the body in every single massage, right? And so
Right.
now I'm in a place where I can confidently, like in a 60-minute session, I might do 12 to 14 techniques in that
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
But what I'm accomplishing and the confidence that I have in what I'm accomplishing in that time is huge, because I'm willing to stay in the tissue long enough to help the client's body be like, huh, what is she asking me to do here? Like, she's asking
Right.
me this input, it's asking me to relax something that I've been holding and holding, and is it safe to let go, right? And we're listening to that, and we're being with someone through that, right?
Yeah, and there's so much other information that comes through your hands and their body in that time about the other tissue around it, and is it safe, and what else is happening, and oh, you just might get, this really incredibly deep layer of knowing about something that you wouldn't have known.
Yeah,
Um,
if you hadn't stayed long
that's
enough. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
magic.
I
So
love
yeah.
the rhythmic rocking that can also accompany this work too. And it's so soothing. It's honestly like my favorite work to receive as well. I don't know if you feel similarly, but
Oh yeah, it's just good. I
it's
mean,
just good.
it's just good.
It's
There's no.
just, yeah. So those are some great starting points for body work books, and probably more. But the other books that I find
Yes.
myself, that have really influenced, my practice, and things that I recommend to my clients all the time are things like, Sarah Buckley's book, Gentle Birth, Gentle Mothering. I
Hmm.
absolutely love that book, and its, frame of what is the physiological blueprint of birth, right?
Yeah.
And how does it work, and the confidence that we can have in that it does work. It's so intelligent, and it's so nuanced, and it's a huge conversation between the mother and the baby's body. I love that book. I recommend that one all the time. And then I have a few books that I recommend for postpartum, just because there's such a gap, right? And
For sure.
understanding and in care. Yeah. So I really love, Kimberly Ann Johnson's book, The Fourth
Yeah.
Trimester.
Yeah. 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 For sure.
Great. I love, Han O's book, The First 40 Days, which is,
Uh-huh.
it's posed as a recipe book, but there's so much more in there.
Well, that's what I
Um,
was just gonna grab, the first 40
oh,
days,
good. You
but
have the
yeah.
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Yes. Those are beautiful. And I love all the Ina May Gaskin books. Um, I feel like they can really help a mama who doesn't have a preconceived idea about birth. She's coming to it pretty fresh to
Yeah.
get just a, like a really nice idea of what birth can look like.
Yeah.
you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's
And oh,
days.
there it is. Yeah, beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love that book. I used those recipes in both of my postpartums as well, and I healed so well. I made lots of
Yeah,
milk
those.
and oh, the psoas, is that what I just saw?
Yeah, those.
Yes. Yes.
I love her work so much. And I love the way she talks about the psoas.
Yeah.
That was another one that really just opened my mind to, and I love what she says about the psoas not being a muscle, but really being juicy connective tissue.
Yeah.
And we need to not treat it as a muscle. And she says, I hope I don't offend anybody, but she said in a class I took with her, I've been trying to tell massage therapists for 20 years to get the fuck out of people's psoas. Like, you don't have
Mm-hmm.
no business being digging around in there. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh yeah, we don't, do we? Like,
Mm-hmm.
do it. It can be subtle and gentle. It's not supposed to be this deep, deep, trenching of the muscle that we are
Yeah.
sometimes taught to do.
But
So
you feel like I'm just thinking of like the iliopsoas rebalancing that we do.
it's different though, right? We do that
Different.
subtly. And I have come at that with a different angle. Even this last class, I
That's
didn't
what I was
teach it.
curious about. Yeah.
Yeah, I've taught it very differently. And I talked about that a lot.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
beautiful. I also really like the postpartum depletion cure,
hmm.
which
I don't think I know that one, honestly.
yeah, that one is pretty heavy in terms of like the research and the uptick in thyroid issues and autoimmune issues that are starting to become more and more prevalent in postpartum, and because women are often going into their fertility journeys and their pregnancies undernourished, and then how are they're going into postpartum depleted, right? And if they're
Yeah.
breastfeeding, that's getting magnified. So much of I think what we need to be aware of is that it takes a lot of nutrition to
Yeah.
build a baby and to sustain a baby and to heal from giving birth, and to maintain our fertility if we feel like we want to not just have more children, but just our fertility is a vital sign, right? It is,
Yes,
whether
for
we feel
sure.
like we're done having children or not, like we still want to have a
Mhm.
vital, fertility, because that's also just going to affect menopause, and it's a continuum, right? So I think
Yes.
that,
So important to look at the cycles. And I'm forgetting her name right now. There's a really beautiful acupuncturist I've been following who talks about the three golden opportunities, right? And like, coming into menstruation, pregnancy, and postpartum, or
menopause.
yeah,
Yeah,
menopause, right? And how those opportunities can really deplete us or help us build our bodies and maintain our energy. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, and I think that
Yeah.
we need to be talking more and more about that, because
Mhm.
I feel like so many women are blindsided by just um, the sheer amount of energy that it takes to do this, to bring in a new life into the world. So yeah,
Mhm.
and then I also recommend the Mala McClure's book, The Infant Massage: A Loving Handbook
Oh.
for Parents. And I mean, that's not the only infant massage book out there. There's
Mhm.
is it Le Boyer's infant massage book
Yes.
that's been around forever, which I
And
love
it's
too. It's
so,
so poetic. It's so
yeah,
beautiful. Yeah.
I feel like that is the most beautiful book, right? You see
Yeah.
those babies swimming and yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, those are some of like my most often recommended. And again, like we're probably just barely gonna scratch the
I
surface here. And I
know.
would love to hear, yeah, if you have other ones, or if other massage
Mhm.
therapists who want to chime in, or who will watch this later. Monique, I know you're on. I don't know if there's anything you want to type in or share with us, but you're welcome to if anything strikes you.
Well, this is my other
Oh, of
favorite
course.
go-to.
Yes, birthing from within.
Just love, because again, I had already been teaching childbirth ed, and had taken several courses, but when I did the birthing from within training, it
Yeah.
changed my perspective on so many things.
Yeah. I
And I
mean,
find myself going back to it even for in my life, like just
yeah.
thinking about the concepts in daily living sometimes. So
Yeah. I mean, it's true. You're totally right. Pam England's work is amazing.
Mhm.
I remember, getting ready for my birth and drawing labyrinths. And it,
Yes.
it was
Yeah.
powerful. It was so cool to sort of externalize that with art and then internalize it in some other way because I would look at that
Mhm.
labyrinth on a regular basis leading up to my birth
Yeah.
time. It was great.
And I think it does, it helps people understand this concept of just because you've had a baby and you are now postpartum, you're not done, right?
Yes, you're
Like,
not out of the
you're not
labyrinth
really
yet.
done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that whole, I mean, it's a really beautiful way to look at the birth process too. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's
And so it's
another
like,
fabulous one.
yeah.
Um, and then I don't know, what other educational sources do you really love? Anything else you want to speak to about that?
Um, I love evidence-based birth,
Yes, yeah.
right? I mean, I
I
feel
had that on my
like,
list, yeah.
yeah, just covers so many different areas of the birth world, but definitely, if you're going to be attending women in labor or doing even the postpartum stuff, she talks about some really
Yeah.
poignant topics.
She does. And, so many clients, so many pregnant women might, have questions about, well, my doctor suggested this, which sometimes hospital practices are not evidence-based practices. And it's a tricky place to be in, but it's such a great resource to be able to say, hey, this is a great resource to see all of the evidence, to see the pros and cons, to be truly informed, because unfortunately the hospitals do not always practice true informed consent because they tend to
Yeah.
prioritize what is easiest and less risky for them.
Yeah, they're running a business. It is
Yeah.
definitely a business.
It is
So,
definitely a business. And so, yeah, that has been a wonderful resource, I think, for a lot of my clients to even understand what is at stake, what the other options are, and to have more intelligent and more confident conversations with their care providers. So, yeah, that's another great one.
yeah. And on the website, she has some free resources you can print out and just have available for your clients. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of free resources that I love too, are you familiar at all with Lily Nichols' work and her free resources specifically for gestational diabetes?
I am not, but I need to be because I have several
It comes up a lot, right? And it can
mamas right
really,
now. Yes.
and I don't know, it's hard. I don't know if it's just like the threshold for gestational diabetes has gotten tighter and so more women are being lumped into that category.
Oh,
That's sort of what it seems like to me. But it's sort of like the medical system is going to tell them, well, it's only if it hits this point that we can like offer you, you know,
uh-huh.
more medicalized, treatments. But there's so much that can be accomplished and that can be managed with diet, and that's what
Yes.
Lily Nichols specializes in. So she's fully researched back. Everything that she has in her books and on her website are fully researched.
So I just downloaded, and maybe this is her, and I don't really recognize the name. Is Nutrition for Diabetes, prenatal. What did I? It was a download.
Yes, it's likely
Is it
her
her?
because it's
Okay.
it's her specialty. She has
Yeah.
her books that she sells, but this particular resource she offers for free because she knows that,
Okay.
you can have a client that's going along and feeling so great about their birth process, or excuse me, their pregnancy and their prospects for their birth process, and then it can feel like they're just derailed by
Yeah.
this diagnosis when there's actually so much they can do to manage this. And so this is a free resource, and it can really kind of help like just feel like you still have power, and authority over your journey.
Yeah, and for so many women, I find that they just really don't have a good sense of, not that they don't want to have a good sense of nutrition, but they don't have a lot of education around really solid nutrition. And then
And
when that comes up, if they end up having gestational diabetes, there's not a lot of, unless somebody's really walking them step by step. I see lots of these mamas, eating granola bars and doing things that are just like,
yeah.
they just don't understand, so yeah.
Yeah, and the protein requirements I think, are pretty grossly underestimated in most nutrition like traditional nutrition backgrounds, and that's what Lily Nichols has spent so much time debunking, is like, here is the research. Like, we are underestimating how much pregnant women really need to thrive. And when we're talking about creating, not just creating a baby, not just creating a brand new organ with the placenta, but creating 50% more blood volume,
Yeah.
how much nutrition that takes, right? And to sustain that blood volume, it's, we should have women like aiming for at least 100 grams of protein a day, which is not something that's necessarily going to come without planning, right? It's
Right.
not.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right, it's not just something like you can kind of intuitively eat your way into 100 grams of protein. It's pretty unlikely to happen, unless you're just craving, steak every day or something like that. But it does take a little bit of planning, I think, to be able to hit those benchmarks.
Yeah.
And
And that's for a singleton, like,
that's
right?
for a
Like
singleton. Yes.
yeah, I saw my sister-in-law carrying twins and starting to trend towards preeclampsia at the end,
Yeah.
and literally watched her teeth turning like translucent because those babies were pulling so much calcium from her.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think that's it, right? That's how it's designed. If there's
Yeah.
not enough to go around, they're going to
Right.
prioritize the babies. It's going to get pulled from your bones, from your
Yeah.
teeth, right? And then what is that postpartum going to look like?
Yeah, yeah. She ended up having a lot of dental work, and yeah. So it's really important. ACOG comes to mind.
Yeah.
American College of Gynecology is a really great online resource you can go to and do a little research about a topic.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, in terms of actual training for therapists as well, I also really love Jenny Burrell Education. She's in the UK. She is a physical therapist that specializes in pregnancy and in she actually, I think, has an entire section just dedicated to hysterectomy recovery, which I think is so
Nice.
cool. And menopause. And I think it's so refreshing because in the United States, it's so hard for massage therapists to gain access to courses that are
Mhm.
meant for PTs. Like, they really kind of separate us.
Right.
And that's not so much the case in the UK. And you can take her courses, and she's just a phenomenal teacher. So yeah, Burrell Education, I think, is another great resource for
Nice.
just bolstering your education, because she does some fitness classes, and then she has um, some bodywork classes, although I'm pretty sure most of her bodywork classes are in person, but she does touch on it in some online stuff as well. But yeah, phenomenal. Like, the level of um, just functionality and anatomy
Mhm.
and ability to convey that is just top notch. Really, really like her a
Mhm.
lot.
Lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, in terms of other, resources, like, I always give out referral lists for local midwives, local doulas,
Yeah.
acupuncturists, chiropractors, lactation consultants, and usually psychiatrists or
Mhm.
psychologists that specialize in this season of life as well.
Yeah. Yes, I do have a great resource. And I think if somebody needs a resource for postpartum mental health, I have someone who does virtual that has given a lot of really great free information that I can just share a link to or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because often, like, I don't know about you, but we often are the bridge.
Oh, yeah. Hmm. Definitely.
We often are the bridge of, like, what we spend enough time with clients, and we can feel a lot of what's going on in their body. They might reveal things, talk to us about things, and then I think it's important for us to have those resources, because there's no way that we're going to be um, equipped to be everything to everyone. It
Mhm.
really does take a village, and so having trusted resources and referrals in that way, I think, is so important.
Yeah. Do you have a resource page on your website, Sparrow?
I don't have it on the website, but we just text it to clients. And so these are
Mhm.
PDFs, they're clickable PDFs that we send to
Okay.
people. So it's cool. So we can text it to our clients, we can email it to them, they open it up, and then every person on there, you click on their name and it links to their website.
Link. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, I know I was thinking about even if we don't get somebody, like if you share something like that, those mamas will share it with people that they know that need it, right? Like
Yeah.
you have a friend that you see going through something like, oh wait, let me share this resource list with you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, totally. And I mean, having lactation consultants that are aware of, I have a couple of referrals that are lactation consultants and infant craniosacral therapists, so that they're really bridging that gap between the baby's body work and the technical stuff that goes on with a proper latch and all of the
Yeah,
things. And I love that conversation happening on both ends, and
for
it's not
sure.
as common as you would think. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'm going to be meeting with somebody this evening, actually, who's a chiropractor, and she does, I'm trying to remember, it's craniosacral work, but it's not traditional cranial work. And there's like these three initials for it. Maybe, are you familiar with this?
It's not coming to mind, but maybe you should bring her on
Oh,
one day or let me know.
yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
fun. Maybe
yeah.
we should just talk to her and learn about it. That'd be awesome.
Yes, yeah. It's a
Um,
little more fascia related, fascia release, fascia unwinding, but it sounds like
oh,
cranial work. Yeah.
very cool.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
very cool. I mean, I just think babies need it so much
right.
as well. I
Yeah.
mean, that the birth process it's a lot for them sometimes. So
Yes, it is.
I think it's great to to teach it to the parents, to have when I say teach it to the parents, I'm more thinking of infant massage. But yeah, sometimes the cranial
Mhm.
releases and
Mhm.
the help that babies need to be able to turn their heads and
Yes. Yeah.
be able to be in their bodies in a way that makes nursing you know comfortable and possible. And
Yeah. I had something come up just a couple months ago at a birth that in all the years I've been doing doula work, I'd never seen. I had a baby who was born and broke a collarbone.
hmm
Had a fractured collarbone.
yeah.
And, I was looking at it. So it didn't show up immediately postpartum. It was like a week later, we started seeing that knot really pop up. And
mm
and I was like, okay, well, this is like really, really not okay.
yeah. And was this a
Yeah.
home birth?
No, it was a hospital birth.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But
Yeah.
usually, because I was going to say, sometimes I mean, it sounds awful, but sometimes they do it on purpose to help the baby get out, or
Right.
at least
Right.
I don't know if this was,
It was just a fast, a hard
emergent.
push fast to get her out because there were D cells,
Interesting.
that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
but I just had not seen that before. And I
Yeah, it
thought
happens. Poor
it
thing.
happens pretty often. So,
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, those again, like we're kind of just scratching the surface here. I hope that this gets people's wheels turning and we can just continue the conversation. We can continue kind of compiling great resources, great quality resources, because I'm sure there's so many more. But this is great for today, I think, because we're already a little bit over. And I was gonna say next week is a topic like that's very dear to my heart. We're gonna be talking about loss and how to support clients through, miscarriage, stillbirth, abortion, the full spectrum. But I'm also going to be on a road trip and traveling. So I
oh,
just wanted to let you know that too, that I'm going to be
okay,
doing my best, but I might be a little bit at the whim of whatever kind of connectivity I have.
yeah,
So I'll talk to you more about that, but I'm going to do
okay,
my very best to be there because I want to. I love that topic so much.
yeah, it's so important too. But okay, yeah, let's chat more. I hope you have a great weekend.
You
I'm so
too.
grateful for everyone that was here. I know we had several people hanging out with us today.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
likewise. And I mean, I do think a lot of people watch the
replays.
replays,
Yeah.
and they do come off after 30 days, which is just Facebook.
Yeah.
So yeah, do try and watch them. And yeah, it's been fun. I'm
Yes.
glad to get back into the groove with you too.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. Okay, well, happy Friday. Hope you have a great weekend. I will see you soon.
Likewise. I'll see you
Okay.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.